I reached out to Fantech and the Fantech said no. So I had to go out and get myself my own Fantech Helios II, and here it is. Alright, just quickly I'm going to show you what's inside the box. This is of course the thing that comes, everything that comes in the box is here, and this is what it looks like. This is the Helios II Pro with 4K capabilities. You've got grips, you've got some cards, you've got some stickers, you've got extra feet, pad feet, you've got dots as well. They even give you the middle ring feet, so that's pretty good. Some user manual, some guarantee and stuff like that. They even give you a gold coin. So if you're like 12 years old, you're gonna appreciate this stuff a lot. But anyway, that's enough of the what's inside the box. Let's put this aside and show you the mouse itself. So today I'm reviewing the Fantech Helios II 4K edition. It's already been out a month or two from its release, so you know, it's like I'm kind of like late to the party, but what the hell anyway, right? So in the box you got the mouse, the dongle, the Type-C, the USB adapter, extra large PTFE skates, you know, dots, some grips, a manual, a warranty card, some stickers, and even a gold coin that maybe some 12-year-olds would like. I don't know, kind of like yeah, pretty cool I suppose. But before we kick off this review, I have 21 by 10 hands. We're testing on right now on almost 93 degrees with 60% upwards of humidity. I think it's something like 80% outside, it's 60 in here, so it's pretty hot and sticky. We're testing on Tenta X control pad. This is the Octo grip. I've got very sweaty fingertips and a very clammy hand. So let's start with the battery life. This thing, the battery is only 300 milliamps, so it's not a very big battery at all. In fact, I think this is on the small side of battery life if you ask me. And currently it only lasts about 2.5 days for me, and this is in 4K, full-blown 4K, 10 plus hours a day. This is about 2.5 days, so it's not that great. You know, if you run it on 1K, I'm sure it'll last a week, but on 4K, this thing isn't that great on 4K. 2.5 days, I suspect. It also takes a freaking long time to charge. It takes about 3 hours to charge, like the you remember Ponage mouses? They take a long time to charge, 3 hours as well. And then yeah, that's the battery life for you, not that great. But we'll talk about the hygiene check right now. You can see I've been using it for a week. It is pretty clean. That's because it's got a coating or no coating, and it, you know, it looks clean all the time. And you know, this is a positive thing. It does not leave any visible smudges. You know, like if you're really sweaty and you're grabbing it, immediately you will leave some residue there. But if you leave it for a while, it will dry off and it'll disappear. So on a positive note, that's the good thing. It's kind of like, it kind of stays clean most of the time. Now, as for the shape and size, of course, this is a popular mouse because it is supposed to be a Zowie S2 clone. Now, I don't know what a Zowie S2 is because I've never had one, but I heard that the waist is slightly slimmer than a Zowie S2, so I'm not sure. But for me, for my first impression when I grabbed it, and it felt really familiar, I immediately thought of the G Pro Superlight. That's my first impression. but it's nothing like the G Pro Superlight. You know, just because it's got that, you know, a bit narrower, flat waist, that's what I thought it felt like. If you measured the waist on the Helios 2, it's only 55 millimeters. If you measured on most mouses today, it's about 59. So it has a little bit of a narrow waist, more on the smaller mouse kind of waist, but it is not a super small mouse. It just has the narrower type of waist that some of the smaller mouses have nowadays, narrow waist. But most mouses, like for example the VXE, these are 39 millimeter waist, so it's a bit wider on the sides. You can see it's cut a bit narrower on the Helios. Even though the G Pro Superlight felt like it's similar to kind of feeling when you grab it, this also has a wide waist, 59 millimeters. So yeah, that is the shape. That's my first impression. I immediately thought GPX because of that, you know, that feeling of the waist. This is the same feeling that I got from the Lamzu Maya, but again, this is nothing to do with the Lamzu Maya. It's you know, it's not a, but it has that familiar feeling at the waist. As for the build quality, if you take a close look, this is as solid as they come. You're getting a AAA quality product. There is no visible flaws. Everything lines up perfectly. The gaps are tight and clean. You know, the finishing is perfect. Even the color looks better in real life than it does on YouTube or the marketing, you know, the marketing channels. I found that the yellow looked pretty cheap when I viewed it through YouTube or one of the sales on the, you know, sales pages that I go check out. The yellow didn't look really appealing to me. It looked kind of cheap to me, but in real life it looks a lot better. It looks really nice, and it complements that black really well. The yellow that comes out on YouTube and on the monitors looks very different to what it does in real life. So, you know, if you're worried about that yellow, have no worries. That yellow looks really nice in real life. Other than that, there is a faint rattling sound if I shake the mouse vigorously. It's barely audible. It's right at the bottom of the mouse, and you have to really put it up to your ears to even hear it. So, you know, there's really no kind of sound audible when you are actually using it in game. But, you know, if you shake it next to your ear, you can hear it. Now the buttons are TTC opticals, and they sound like a quieter version of the G Pro Superlight. Now the G Pro Superlight sounds different. Obviously it sounds louder, but the same optical kind of feeling. It feels kind of hollow sounding. It feels very much like a Lamzu Thorn. Now I'm fine with it, but if I'm truthful, I'd much rather be clicking a Huano or some Kales. These are Kales, of course. These are Huanos. These are Omrons. And they all sound, in my opinion, a little bit more pleasant than these optical sounds. I mean, they're not bad. They're still functional. You know, they're fine. They just, you know, if I had a choice, I'd rather go for the Huanos or Kales. That's 100% sure. The scroll wheel itself is kind of silent, unless of course you're aggressive or vigorous, then it's more audible. But the tensioning is perfect if you're using it normally. There are defined bumps and steps, and it is not the softest, but it is definitely on the soft side. The feet itself, the feet of these are trans or transparent, not that kind of trans. This is a transparent PTFE feet, and they are significantly slower when you do the spin test. Here, I'm doing the spin test for you. This is what the Helios looks like, and this is what the G Pro Superlight looks like. You can clearly see the G Pro Superlight is much smoother. And by the way, these are stock feet on the G Pro Superlight. A lot of people hate these feet because they are scratchy and because they are slow. And compared to the Helios, much slower. Compared to the VXE with the stock feet, the VXE seems like a helicopter when you compare it to the Helios. But in a practical sense, when you're actually using it in game, it is fine. There's no problems with it. You know, only during the spin test you can feel like it's kind of slow, but when in practical games, gaming, playing, there's no problem with the feet. They work fine. The software itself, if you want to take a look at the software, it's the familiar software that a lot of manufacturers use. I think the one that I can think of is the Red Dragon. Has the same software, just a different mouse looking and maybe a different background, but all the buttons seem to be in the same place. You can see the battery is dying already. This was charged actually a day ago. I might have put 15 hours yesterday and maybe another 12 hours today, and that's it. It's gonna die. So this is the 4K. Right now I'm having it at 4K setting. So at 4K setting with the dongle, you're talking about 2-3 days maximum of usage. I mean, this is like going real hard, of course. 10 plus 12-14 hours of usage a day. So but saying that, as for performance, I am not disappointed with it. It does play really nice. It is a very accurate mouse. In terms of performance, it feels really good. The pointer, the implementation of the sensors, they work really well. Tracking, micro adjusting, they're really good. The colorway is amazing because of that yellow and black. Now again, I did not like it when I saw it on YouTube because I thought that yellow was kind of off a little bit. It wasn't my kind of yellow, but in real life the yellow looks so much better, and it matches so much better with the black matte finish mouse. So I feel like the advertising or the YouTube colors just don't do this mouse justice. It looks a lot nicer in real life than it does on the marketing materials and on the YouTube videos that I see. So as for value, I can't say it is worth $85 with the 4K dongle. I feel like this should be a $65, $70 mouse max. Not because it's not worth $85, but when you are competing with other brands in the market that are doing the same thing and at a price point much lower than you, it's really difficult to compete. You need to have something super special about your product to put it in that, even in that $85 price range. I feel like this is a little bit overstepping. I think they would do really well if they lower down the price to $65, $70. It would be a killer price range. But at $85, what's stopping you from getting a Lamzu, a more prominent popular brand, Lamzu or Pulsar? I'm sure they have something in that range as well to compete against. But this is a pretty good mouse. Again, that battery life is the only downside that I feel. 300 milliamps, 2 days of gameplay, 2.5 days of gameplay. I feel like that's no bueno for me. It has to do at least 3 days. I think that is the fair number. But anyway, hope you found some useful information on the mouse, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.